A tough Army major recruits a bunch of the meanest, nastiest misfits to lead a suicide mission against the Nazis. Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson, Jim Brown in one of the best war movies ever, The Dirty Dozen. Right after the stadium show, postgame. Telly Savalas is in there too. Bill Belichick talks it over with his troops. He's got to be happy with the way they've played.
They have played sensationally on defense.
Sims gives to Tillman, and he is upended. Oh, what a super play by Clyde Simmons.
Clyde Simmons is a guy the Eagles actually asked to do a lot of different things, even though he's a defensive end, because they'll ask him to rush the passer, but he also gets involved in pass coverage sometimes. He'll cover a back coming out of the backfield, even though he's 6'6" and 275.
Ball's at the 33-yard line. It's 2nd and 12. We're in the final quarter. New York leads by 10. Cawthorn goes in motion. Sims, play action, throws. Cawthorn, complete. Breaks the tackle, gets close to a first down, and a late hit, and a flag, and that will be a first down for New York. Looked like the youngster out of Georgia.
Yeah, it was Ben Smith. Yeah, you're right. #1 draft pick. No surprise, Buddy Ryan always drafts on defense, but Maurice Carthon, you're going to see him go out of bounds, then you're going to see Ben Smith use his elbow right into the face, right there. It was the elbow and forearm into the face of Carthon that drew the 15 yards.
And that gives the Giants a first down, which is just what they want with 14-13 left in the game. Boy, a touchdown here would put them in business.
Yeah, as good as the Giant defense is playing, that's why the Eagle defense has to create something, or the Eagle special teams have to do something.
Lee Roussan has checked into the game for New York at a running back position, comes in motion right. Tillman, not much. He's down at the 41-yard line. Byron Evans out of Arizona, the linebacker on the snap. Clock continues to roll, however, with 13:45 left. Philadelphia makes some defensive changes. Ben Smith was out for a play. He's back in. So is Izell Jenkins. Hopkins comes out of the game. So does Al Harris.
It looks like Reggie White's jersey is about 3 sizes too small. I'm not sure you can make them big enough for him, but it prevents offensive linemen from holding him.
Sims to throw against pressure. Throws long. Has a man. Ingram. Touchdown. Sims to Ingram.
That's beautiful. That's fun to watch. You know, these guys get paid an awful lot of money, but when you watch Phil Sims do this and you see the joy on his face and how excited he gets after throwing a touchdown pass like that, you know they're having fun as well. Mark Ingram, the #1 draft pick a couple of years ago, and if the Giants are going to make a run for it this year, he's going to have to come up with some plays like that.
Raul Allegre will try the extra point. It is good. So the Giants having it all their own way. 27-10 is our score with 13-13 left in the game.
The thing about roads is they often come with bumps. The thing about the Infiniti Q45.
The NFL on TNT is being brought to you by AT&T, the right choice.
Allegre kicks it away, and it will be Vick who comes away with it to the 10 and does not reach the 15-yard line. He's upended by that man again, Raina Thompson. He is something. Tillman was there too.
Scoring drive there by the Giants. Just took them 6 plays. was a long drive, but what really happened, it was set up by the penalty on Ben Smith. Remember, Ben Smith had the personal foul called on him, and that set up this play. Phil Simms acting like a kid again, throwing the ball, a beautiful throw. You can't throw it any better to Mark Ingram.
Back live, Cunningham puts it up to Drummond. He makes the catch and is wrapped up at the 18-yard line. Perry Williams made the stop. He's out of North Carolina State, a 7-year man.
As tough as the Giant defense has been, I don't think you can waste any time there. I don't think the Eagles ought to even be huddling. I think they should be on the ball, because you're not going to get too many chances against this Giant defense. And sooner or later, you're down 17 points, the clock becomes an enemy as well.
Fred Barnett checks into the game. Mike Quick goes out. He's had a quiet night, but then most of the Eagles have. The give is to Tony, and he blasts his way to a first down to the 27-yard line. Anthony Tony stopped by Pepper Johnson. The clock runs. Johnson helped by Perry Williams on the play. Tony now 11 carries, 37 yards.
You know, one of the successful plays the Eagles had in the first half was that touchdown, and their only touchdown was kind of on a trick play because of the aggressive Giant defense. Maybe that's what the Eagles need to think about now. Maybe a reverse, some sort of action, flow action, throwback.
Quick back in the game and flanks to the left, and he's in the pattern. Cunningham is chased out of the pocket, starts to run. Pepper Johnson hit him, tripped him up. Pepper Johnson made the initial hit. Carl Banks in on the play as well, but a fine play by Johnson. Boy, they got to be tired chasing that guy around all night.
You're right, but you know, you talk so much about Lawrence Taylor. This Giant defense has a lot of good players, and Pepper Johnson is one of them. He's in his 5th year, but this is really the first year where he's come in at training camp on time, been the undisputed starting inside linebacker, and they think Pepper Johnson's going to have a big year. He has tonight.
Again, Cunningham to throw. Has a man. It's Schuler, complete at the 35-yard line. Mickey Schuler with the reception. He's shy of the first down. The stop was made by Dave Dorson.
And now if you're the Eagles, down by 17 points, 11 minutes left in the ball game, it's 3rd and 2. I think you run the ball here twice to pick up the first down. I think you have to be thinking that way.
10:50 remaining. Keith Byers back in the game. Well, that's profiles of courage. Then not that. But Byers coming in again.
Wow.
Another television for this. 3rd and 2. It's Byers in motion. Cunningham splits it out here. He's got Tony, I think.
What, was that a clever little play?
It was a strange looking thing, but it worked.
Well, there was some real quick penetration. It was supposed to be a pitch play by Randall Cunningham, but there was real early penetration by this Giant defense. He couldn't get the pitch. He thought it was going to get intercepted, and so then he just kind of tossed it to him.
Carl Banks was in on the stop. First down, Philadelphia. They're at the 38-yard line. Great protection for Cunningham. He's running out of the pocket, and he runs out of bounds at the 44. He was chased out by Greg Jackson.
You know, anytime Randall Cunningham has that much time to make a play, it just tells you that the Giant defense is doing a terrific job of coverage. And they've done it all tonight against Cunningham. They've rushed him, they've sacked him, they've played good coverage, and the good thing they've done is they've really mixed it up. They've had a nice mix of blitzes and putting pressure on him, and then they drop off in coverage and force him to scramble.
Cunningham 4 rushes for 24 yards, but that's not many rushes.
No.
2nd and 5 at the 44. Cunningham, the throw again, has time down the middle, complete to Schuler once more. He's having a busy night. 13-year veteran from Penn State, a former Jet. Dorson on the stop.
You know, I think tight ends can have big years because teams don't see tight ends much anymore. With the 3 wideouts, the 4 wideouts, the run and shoot and such, I think there's an opportunity for tight ends, guys like Mickey Schuler and Mark Navarro, to have big years.
Eric Howard back into the game. Johnny Cook's out for the Giants. Williams wide to the right. The clock is an enemy of Philadelphia. And a whistle. And a timeout is called by New York. They may have been caught a man short on the field. The Giants call a timeout, and they do it with 8:57 left. The Eagles are in Giant territory, and we'll be back.
Last year, the Oilers beat the Steelers twice, but the Steelers upset the Oilers in the wild card game, and the Oilers are still upset. TNT Sunday Nitro burns with revenge. The Oilers versus the Steelers next Sunday on TNT.
Fitness Quest 1000. Use your credit card to avoid COD charges, or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Abdominizer, P.O. Box 8449, Atlanta, Georgia 30306, or call 1-800-421-2000.
Giants up by 17, and it's really been the story of the Giant defense, and that's their coordinator, Bill Belichick. 2 nights ago, he was worried about back-to-school night for his kids. Tonight, he's worried about Randall Cunningham.
Fires in motion and in the pattern. Cunningham broken up. Hanks knocked it away, and a flag flies, and interference will be the call. Dorison was there as well.
There are some bodies flying around out there.
Pass interference, number 58 defense, automatic first down.
Wow. Carl Banks and Dave Dorison were there making the play. And Cunningham has got a little rhythm going right now with his tight end working the middle. Yeah, that's a good call. Banks got there early, and Dorison nicked Schuler's head late, but Carl Banks, he's had a very nice evening as well, both playing over the tight end, stuffing the run, and rushing Cunningham.
8:53 left. Cunningham filling the air with footballs. That one is a one-hopper to Robert Drummond. Dorison again on the coverage along with Perry Williams.
And although that's an incompletion, and you can get in a huddle, I just don't sense the kind of urgency from the Eagles that you'd expect with 8:48 left and down by 17.
Second and 10 from the 38. Cunningham 18 of 28 for 139 yards. Couple of interceptions. Flags fly. Cunningham will run. 30. Good cut. 25, 23. Loose football. Giants appear to have it, but there is a flag. Let's wait and see. And the Eagles are clapping, so something has gone against the Giants. Offsides against New York. Now let's see who recovered that football. If Philadelphia recovered it, they'll take the play. If they didn't,
Offside,
that's the penalty.
number 52 defense. The defense recovered the fumble, therefore a penalty accepted. 5 yards, repeat second down.
So Philadelphia has the ball, but they lose valuable yardage.
Randall Cunningham that time put Greg Jackson, number 47, in a bind. Jackson again didn't know whether he was going to run it or pass it. But, you know, that was Lawrence Taylor again. That's incredible. Lawrence Taylor I saw earlier in the play rushing the quarterback. And then he gets down 30 yards downfield to make that play. That's an incredible play by Lawrence Taylor, I think.
Philadelphia is driving, but they're using up precious time. Byers in motion. Cunningham to throw again. He's throwing on every down. Byers, 25, 21-yard line. A host of tacklers, among them Dave Dorison. Myron Guyton in there as well. Well, that Byers is a tough guy. He hasn't run the ball much tonight, but he can catch it.
Yeah, he can.
Clock continues to tick with 8:15 left. 27-10 Giants.
You know, but a lot of his receptions are really like runs. I mean, he catches those balls out in the flat, maybe 2 or 3 yards away from the line of scrimmage. It really is kind of like a run.
Williams wide right. Barnett to the left. There goes Byers in motion. Cunningham to throw. Not much pressure into the end zone. Throws it away. Perry Williams of the Giants, the closest man to it. It's second down.
This Giant defense that Randall Cunningham has to figure out a way to beat. They have been really terrific tonight. They have done just about everything.